That's Nick.
And that's Joseph. And today we're here to talk about Castle in the Ground, which will be available on digital on demand May 15th, 2020. It is the sophomore film directed by Joey Klein. It premiered at the 2019 Toronto International Film Festival. And Joseph didn't watch it.
Nope.
Why not?
It sounded dry. Here's what I'm going to say about me not watching films. Sometimes I think if I read a synopsis and it seems like I'm just not going to be into it, I think sometimes it's not fair for me to then talk about a film that I wasn't into in the first place.
Sure, but
because then like I'm already biased. Now that doesn't mean that I haven't watched films I wasn't into and I ended up loving them. Mm-hmm. But I think sometimes it's just better I don't, because I'm just going to be salty.
Okay.
That being said, what was this person's first film?
2016 film called The Other Half, which I did not see. This is kind of about the onset of the opiate crisis in Sudbury, Ontario. So it's set in 2012.
Oh, in Canada?
Yes, it's a Canadian film.
Oh, okay. So what is it about?
It's about a young man played by Alex Wolff.
That's Nate Wolff's brother.
Nat Wolff's brother.
Nat Wolff, who's in Blue Story.
No.
No?
Body Cam.
Body Cam, okay.
They all run together. Anyway, Henry is, I believe, 19. His mother, played by Neve Campbell, Rebecca, they're a lovely Jewish mother and son. She's dying of cancer. He is holding off looking at colleges until she's cured, so she's withholding the fact that she's relapsed. Eventually she has to tell him, and then she does not want to go through chemo again, so she takes a morphine patch, mixes her medications, and essentially kills herself. Just as he administers the patch, she begs him for it, which is probably one of the few very kind of heart-wrenching scenes in the film. He becomes enamored with the girl next door who's been playing her music loud and disturbing his mother's rest for months. Anna, played by Imogen Poots. So this is yet another Imogen Poots film you have skipped.
Where do I know her from?
Black Christmas, you saw her in last.
Was she the short-haired one?
Yeah, the one who you're like, she looks frazzled.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, she is an opiate addict, and he gets kind of sucked into her world of...
Wait, the neighbor is the opioid.
Yes.
So she puts him on.
He gets sucked into her world of like violence and terrible things.
In Ontario?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, there's a lot of drug addicts and drug dealers there.
I'm just imagining a white girl in Canada living about that life, but I guess it's what it is.
Yeah, she actually, so I think all of the acting is quite well done. It's just that we're never really drawn into any compelling kind of characteristics. Like if you were going to compare this to something like Requiem for a Dream or Heaven Knows What, or other films about drug addicts, there's a human component in there that makes what they're doing so terrible to witness, and there really just isn't that there. Like Imogen Poots is a charismatic young woman. You can see why Henry would be drawn to her, but there's nothing. She just becomes grating because she's just this. She's like Seymour in or what's the name of the plant in Little Shop of Horrors?
No, Seymour's not.
Audrey 2 or whatever. She's just like this black hole that can never really be filled with what she needs. And
does he tell her his mom wants him to give her the morphine?
He does admit to her that it was he gave her the patch that killed her.
And how does she react?
She says it wasn't your fault because his mom basically he told her you're not supposed to mix medications, and she does. Like, so she wants out. Yeah.
Okay.
And meanwhile, there are all kinds of shenanigans going on with Anna. She and a friend of hers, played by Tom Cullen, who is one of the couple in the movie Weekend by Andrew High. Okay. They had stole a bottle or a bag of pills from her usual drug dealer, played by Keir Gilchrist. It turns out those pills are fake, but if he doesn't get the fake pills back, there's going to be hell to pay, and there's some violence that happens. But there are things in this film that just made me distracted, and I kept asking questions like, why can't they just give him any old fake pills then? If that's what. I don't know.
Do you think I would have liked this film?
No, I don't think you would have
Okay.
liked the film. And
Did you like the film?
As I said, I think it's well performed. Otherwise, it is a bit of a slog to get through. I'm not going to say it's neo-realist, but you're in these like cramped, dingy apartments through the whole thing. And I think as we're all being quarantined during this pandemic, it just is not the go-to film for right now, perhaps. But she goes to get drugs in one scene that reminded me a little bit of Jungle Fever, that crack den that Samuel Jackson is
And
in.
Halle Berry.
And Halle Berry. And that mattress.
Never forget Halle Berry played a crackhead.
She did a couple times, actually, also in Losing Isaiah. But yeah, there are decent things in it, but it just doesn't live up to a lot of those other films. Poots is quite good. She's usually very good. She's a beautiful young woman that is not afraid to make herself look like hell consistently, like through this and Green Room and Black Christmas, and interesting choice of characters. But I also like that the title, Character in the Ground, reminds me of that Polanski title, Knife in the Water, as in taking these phallic symbols and making them impotent. And also, like Castle in the Ground, there's all these men revolving around this woman who actually holds all the power in their little universe.
Okay. What else you got there?
That's it, actually.
What would you give this film?
I think 2.5 out of 5 is fair.
All right, bye.
Bye.